For those who are new or unfamiliar with my content, I would like to give a disclaimer. Slow Damage has an extremely self-destructive main character, and his nonchalant comments about his lack of concern for himself does trigger my nervous laughter. If you'd like to view my content that covers dark or intriguing subjects like this one, please consume it responsibly and know that this content is not for minors. I want to emphasize that if you experience any of the severe symptoms that Toa does, I highly encourage that you seek professional help rather than view this playthrough. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you've decided to watch this video. Welcome back, everybody, to Slow Damage. I believe this is part 4. Oh, that's really, wait, I didn't realize. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I don't know if that painting was there, the painting from the first chapter. I didn't realize that it's actually there on the right side now, so. Oh, that's actually really cool if that happens in the menu every time I finish a chapter. That's pretty dope. That my revelation aside. Against my better judgment, I have decided to play another part of Slow Damage for you guys here. I for some reason have decided that Slow Damage is the best stress relief over everything else. So yes, this will probably be a shorter video, a shorter part as well, only because I'm starting a little later in the night, so I just probably can't record for that long, but here I am, because I'm also still obsessed. So last we left off, we finished chapter 1. Yes, we finished chapter 1. We have the time of our lives. I'm sorry. We had the time. I'm still laughing thinking about it. But, yeah, we had the time of our lives. We revealed Ikuina to be, you know, not only the artiste, but also the person giving us bouquets. And it turns out that Ikuina has an interest in open wounds. Well, so far I've been loving this game, so okay, so oh gosh, I was like, if that's, you know, if that's just like the prologue, I'm ready for the rest. I'm ready. Let's go. Have mercy on me. Okay. So, oh, after that, unsurprisingly, my body, or more specifically, my stomach, felt like lead, so I laid myself down on the sofa. I mean, why? Why wouldn't it, though? So, oh, pain is real. Okay. So, I hope everybody's had a good month so far. Whenever I put whatever month it is when I post. I'm speaking from the past, so, you know, make sure to check your clock, you know. Okay, let's continue. After that, unsurprisingly, my body, more specifically my stomach, felt like lead, So I laid myself down on the sofa. Ray claimed he was just making sure I wasn't malnourished, but if you ask me, he was every bit as overprotective as Taku. Those are his siblings slash parents slash, caretakers. Taku and Ray are just like, no, we are here to care for you, boy. Okay. It wasn't pleasant to stuff myself with food when my body was so used to going without. How is Toa still this able-bodied when he barely eats? I mean, he's just like, oh, I just drink alcohol all the time, and I'm just like, isn't it dehydrating? And if you don't have food, your body's gonna start caving in on itself, I mean, you need some kind of sustenance to help you get through, you know what I'm saying? So you still need food to just exist, because the body needs. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. When my stomach finally settled, I picked up my cell phone and tapped around while I had a smoke. There's that magic phone. I opened my inbox and skimmed through the replies to the art model listing. Oh, we looking for another one, baby. Some applicants had attached photos to their emails, but none of it really caught my interest. Right as I was starting to think they were all duds, however, my eye landed on the subject line of the final email. In place of a greeting or cover letter explaining why they should be chosen, all they had written was a short poem. Ooh, we love cryptic messages. I'm laughing because for some reason, I'm not even doing it on purpose now. There's always some kind of religious joke I can make, Oh, Holy Savior, grant me thy salvation. I am your faithful servant. I have no words to describe the beauty of your heavenly messengers. That's right, Toa. The content of the poem was religious in nature. I'd received several emails like these in the past. But they seemingly changed their email address every time because none of my responses ever went through. So these days, I just ignore them. Oh, interesting. I was curious at first, but after reading the same thing over and over, the novelty had worn off. Unless the tone of these poems got a lot more urgent somehow, I couldn't see myself caring. I closed the email and navigated to Roost's blog. The article at the top featured my latest Euphoria piece. Ray must have uploaded the photos he took when he came by. I felt like going down to have a drink, and not just because of the blog. Back to the Roost we go. So I pulled on my coat and left the apartment. My body felt heavy from days and days of barely moving. Slowly but surely, I headed to Roost. After being cooped up for so long, the nippy air felt pleasant against my skin. During the day, the air hung low over the bustling city, but the nights were always crisp. The colder, the better. As I approached the downtown area, foot traffic began to increase. The city was decked out in Christmas decorations, and classic songs played over the loudspeakers. As the passers-by walked along giddily, I spotted a kid clinging to a store display window, tugging on his mom's hand and begging for something. He pointed to a big teddy bear sitting on the windowsill. Mood. The sight made me avert my eye. For whatever reason, I didn't feel comfortable about it. Aside from the cold weather, I hated the month of December. I couldn't explain why, but it repulsed me. Ooh, that amnesiac reaction is still in there. Sorry. For most people, particularly those who lived on the mainland, Christmas was a time of love and hope and joy. But Jinkomi was different. Each year, as the temperatures got steadily colder and colder, deaths among the homeless population began to skyrocket. But Jinkomi didn't care about unidentified corpses. They had worse crimes to be dealing with. Fortunately, the city was originally built on a landfill, so there's no shortage of places to dump a body. Ooh, that's terrible. These days, a lot of them were dumped in District A, in the sea of debris caused by sinkholes, since they would be less conspicuous. This kind of thing was always on the news, but it was so normalized by this point that nobody cared anymore. Ah, yes. Desensitization, that's not a word. Being desensitized. Sure, everybody was probably scared at first, but after you lived in it for a while, you would inevitably adapt. Oh boy. Here in the downtown area, the tragedy was buried beneath the festive lights and music. In Shinkomi, you could step over a corpse and not even notice. Hey, yo, we back at it. Arriving at Roost, I opened the door and walked in. Irashai! Irashai! Calm down. While he was on the clock, Ray was all smiles, but as soon as he laid eyes on me, he frowned and raced over. I nodded, then headed to the counter and availed myself of an empty seat. What will it be? What will it be? The manager promptly set about making my drink. Meanwhile, I put an unlit cigarette between my lips and looked around the bar. Among all the regulars, I could see one unfamiliar face seated at the very end of the counter. Who is? As I lit my cigarette, the manager handed me my drink, and I shifted my attention to the glass. I took a long drag and exhaled the smoke. Then I picked up my drink and took a sip. Just then, Ray walked to the counter. How am I feeling? How are we feeling, Toa? We fine? Okay. Don't cut me out, Ray. As he tried to peer at my face, I turned my head and exhaled more smoke. My muscles will atrophy. You could just eat and stretch. Have some water. Like stretch out on the floor when need be. Take breaks in between your painting sessions. Just putting it out there. Cause me too. Oh boy. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Sorry, I had to cough. He laughed, though the worry didn't fade from his face. Super gorgeous, he says. It's super. He called over the counter to the manager as he wiped a glass. Bring it in. How much you pay me? How much do they pay Toa? Sorry. You don't mind, right? I mean, I get it. You're so fun. Toa's just like, I painted it. It's fine. It's done. It's out of my system. It's fine. Take it. At this, Ray raised his fist triumphantly in the air, and the manager smiled. Why did I say it triumphantly like that? Triumphantly. Sorry.
もうすぐクリスマスじゃない。またお店でパーティーするから、トアも来なさいよね。
Christmas party, yeah. Let's go, Toa. Let's go to the party.
それならなおさら来なさいよ。
Well, then you better come. He says you better come. He says it, Toa. We gotta go. We gotta go. Be right there. Someone called from the table area, and Ray walked off in that direction. Stranger. Tell me about the stranger. Isn't there a stranger? I set my cigarette against the side of the ashtray and took another sip of my drink. Then, as I was taking another drag, my eye wandered back to the man at the end of the counter. He kept fidgeting relentlessly. Oh, restlessly. I'm adding letters again. Restlessly, catching my attention the entire time I was talking to Ray. Hello? He was a slender man, dressed in a well-fitting suit and silver-framed glasses. But in a place like this, it was his tidy appearance that made him stick out. Judging from the way he kept glancing all around, he was completely paranoid. His smoke was brown and swaying relentlessly. Clearly, the guy was freaked out. Then why are you in this club? Then why are you at this bar? Why are you here? Anyway, sorry.
Tencho.
The manager looked at me. I gestured to the man with my gaze.
Dare.
Who that? Who this? The manager looked over at him, then paused. Oh, you got tea? You got some tea, manager? He's always got tea, you know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, Toa got 2 whole friends and he doesn't talk to anybody else. He doesn't even talk to those gangster dudes, you know, or his sort of surrogate father kind of thing. Come on, give me the tea. Give me the tea. With a chuckle, he leaned forward over the counter. Oh. Okay, so this chapter's not about Taku. I thought it was about Taku. I was like, oh, this chapter's about Taku. Oh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Okay, sorry. Okay. Doctor. Ooh. Is it really interesting? Do you actually care? Like, do you actually care? As I took a drag, I glanced at the man out of the corner of my eye. Is he coming? Is he coming a lot? Yeah. Then why does he come here? Does he have like a thing? He's another one, isn't he? Yeah, I'm playing this game as if I'm like I'm expecting someone normal, like, you know. No surprise there. I looked back at the bespectacled doctor. Takanokuchi Medical Office, the same place where Ikuina was hospitalized. I heard it was larger and better equipped than the Murase Clinic. Listen, Toa, you don't need to read your homeboy like that. Like, homeboy literally just like works all odd hours, whatever. He's not like a regular doctor. He's like basically like an underpaid teacher. Like, I'm so sorry. You know, get teachers paid more. Fight the power. The only reason a big shot doctor would be caught dead in this bar is if he had some unusual proclivities. What is that word? The person who wrote this script has a lot more. Their vocabulary is as buck wild as mine. Proclivities. Okay. Then, on a whim, my mischievous side reared up. With my cigarette between my lips, I grabbed my glass and stood up. Toa showing initiative. Toa's taking initiative. Ooh, girl. I walked over to Dr. Specs. He already has a nickname for him. I walked over to Dr. Specs and sat down next to him. He's not looking like one of our boys here. So. How many NPCs does Toa get down with? Unless this is one of our boys and I don't recognize him. But flinching, he looked at me in alarm, then hastily faced forward once more. Toa looks like he's gonna like he looks like a petulant child. Like, you know, it's just like I know you're upset with me, but what you doing? Like, he's like, excuse me. With a lazy grin, I leaned in close, but he promptly turned his face away. I could see his hands trembling on the counter. His smoke twisted violently. Dang, girl. Thrashing. Dang, he is provoked. This provoked a sadistic urge in me, and I bet it did. Oh, I bet it did. Oh gosh. And I reached out to touch his hand. Chill. Chill. The moment I made contact, he whipped his hand away and leapt up sharply, his chair clattering behind him. Panicked, he pulled his wallet from his coat pocket, dropped a few bills on the counter, and grabbed a suitcase. Then, with a pointed glare in my direction, he stormed out. As I watched all this unfold, Ray came barreling over.
ちょっと見てたわよ。手出したの？そういうのやめなさいよね。お客さん減っちゃうじゃん。
I saw what you did, Tho. I saw what you did. Ray is so sorry. I know. I don't know why Ray like cracks me up. You know, like Ray's a very reasonable person, but I guess like because the main character is Toa, who's like wild and out. Like I always feel like nothing you say to Toa is gonna get him to ever do anything. You know, it's gonna take a lot to get him to do something, as we've seen, right? Unless he wants to do it, he won't do it. But Ray's like consistently, like he is consistent for sure. If he were to, you know, if he were on RuPaul's Drag Race, he would probably make it to the end just because he's consistent. But but Ray's always just like, Toa, how could you do that? Why would you do that? Blah 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 blah. And then I'm just like, that's what he does, right? Like, you know, you gotta watch him, otherwise he's gonna do what he did to this dude. You know, Toa's like, he's weird, and that's okay, you know. And I'm glad that you're very accepting, but also like you need to watch your boy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, back. Anyway, just need to take a moment. I just asked him if he was a doctor, and also I made him very highly uncomfortable. Because I felt like it.
でも触ったでしょ。初対面からそういうの良くないと思います。
Why are you like accusatory? Like, you know, you can calm down. What if he was just trying to like flirt? Just a friendly gesture. Friendly gesture, sure. So it's like I wanted to provoke him because I saw that he was very nervous. So mean. He sighed in exasperation and walked off to the table area. Pinching my cig between my fingers, I grabbed my glass and took a sip of whiskey. I just want to say that I thought it might be Fujieda. If it is Fujieda, his hair is not slicked back. That's why I was like, it doesn't look like him. So it might, I don't know. You know, maybe later I'm just gonna be like, I'm dumb. Pain. Not only was that doctor out of place here, but the moment someone interacted with him, he flipped his lid. Granted, not everyone was predisposed to social interaction, but we didn't often get his type around here, so it was kind of novel. Ooh, girl. These thoughts only lingered for a moment. However, by the time the whiskey slid down my throat, I'd already forgotten all about him. At the time I was drunk. I don't care about nobody. That's essentially it. Okay, single mothers and parental neglect. Oh boy, you calling me out, huh? I think I've recently been reading like articles on parental neglect and specifically single mothers for some reason. I feel like I'm being called out. I like to wear a lot of weird stuff. Not weird, but you know, things you'd think I wouldn't be reading. Okay, so what's happening besides the single mother stuff? Deadly hypothermia. Single mothers cry for help. What Christmas is coming. Mariah Carey is coming. I don't want a lot for Christmas. I'm sorry. We asked the coroner to ask us more. Okay, so so there's our theme this chapter is a doctor, the issue of hypothermia and the commonality of rising deaths because of the hypothermia. The club and this doctor guy, this apparent doctor guy, who's extremely socially anxious for some reason but keeps coming to the bar. Let's go. After a long night of hooking, sorry, I've been watching too much Drag Race. After a long night of drinking at Roost, Ray flagged me down after his shift ended, and together we went home. Normally, he rode a motorcycle to work, but since it looked like it was going to rain, he'd walked here instead. And so, the two of us set off, me to Murase Clinic, and him to his apartment. You're not gonna go to his apartment? As we walked along, chatting aimlessly, a small figure ran past us and into the still active downtown area. Not the child! Ray whirled around as if to give chase, but stopped. Was that a child? I don't know. We both stared down the street, but couldn't see any trace of them. Honestly, it wasn't that surprising for a kid to be roaming the streets of Shinkomi at night. Oh no, I expect a lot of things to just come out of Toa's mouth, but this was not what I thought he was gonna say. Oh, please don't let this be about this. Please don't let this chapter be about this. I'm gonna weep the whole chapter. Oh no. Okay, you guys gotta go. You gotta run up. Ray pursed his lips. Yeah, please, I'm very nervous. With that mention, my anxiety spiked. And with that, he took off running. Toa, come on. Please follow him, because otherwise we're gonna go back to your room. Before I could say a word, he disappeared into the night. I sighed and crouched down on the sidewalk. Technically, I wasn't obligated to wait for him. Could have just gone home without him, but I was already lethargic from the booze. So I decided it was time for a smoke break. I took it. Don't I needed to. Please, I'm crying here. I'm crying. I took a drag, exhaled, and watched the passers-by. As I zoned out and enjoyed a smoke, I heard little footsteps right before something crashed into me from behind. Oh, this can't be good. The high-pitched voice caught my attention and I turned. Oh no. I'm afraid. My anxiety is spiking. Toa cannot take care of children. He can't even take care of himself. This is making me nervous by the minute, okay? Oh no. The young boy was standing there, about 10 years old, gasping for breath, with a look of surprise on his face. We stared at each other for a few seconds. They crouched down and pressed up against me, like he was using me as a shield.
Oi.
That's not what he said, but okay. But the translation's not, like, terrible. I'm just like, that's not the word, but okay. Oh. Get away from me. The boy shook his head vigorously and refused to move. Just then, a group of men dashed out from a nearby alley. Oh no. They were screaming about something, and when they spotted me, they stopped short. Oh no, please. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Oh no. Oh no, not the gangster fights. A man in a red shirt walked up and attempted to intimidate me. Also, by the way, this dude does not scare me. I could take this dude. And I'm not that physically threatening looking. I can take this dude. With his little button up little red shirt and his little pose there. He's just like, I'm like, no. We can go at it. You're gonna fight me for this kid, okay? I'm terrible. Oh boy. I looked up at him, cigarette between my lips. Bro, go away. Take him. The words left my lips in a haze of smoke. Apparently, they were after the kid behind me. But I wasn't involved in their business. I'd said as much. I love that he's like, yeah. And they're like, let's fight. It's like, oh. The guy in the red shirt was getting pissy. He didn't seem to like my attitude. They never do. They never like your attitude, and then they get beat up later because they're dumb. While they were distracted with me, the boy stood up and took off like a bat out of hell. Two of the red shirt's buddies ran after the kid. Oh gosh. Oh. Why are these guys are definitely dressed much better than these two, by the way. I mean this one. Sorry, why did I say two? Also, I love that dragon shirt. And that button is pretty cool. Yeah, this dude in the middle is lame. So yeah, see these two, I'd be a little more inclined to be like just a tad more intimidated, but this dude in the middle, nah. The remaining three men stepped up to me, and apparently he's probably supposed to be a leader. He's wearing red. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm gonna hold my thoughts to myself. Why would I? Okay. The men all lunged at me at once, dragging me to the ground. The cigarette fell from my lips as a full-body beatdown began. Oh my god. How did I know? I just knew. Normally I enjoyed pain, but this was not one of those times. No, these guys were the type who used violence to stroke their own egos. They never picked a fight with someone their own size. That was not the kind of violence I enjoyed, and I wanted no part of it, so I didn't even bother fighting back. Instead, I lay there like I was waiting out a passing storm. Oh, Toa. Oh, Toa. My poor child. When I came to, the men were gone. Instead, I was surrounded by a crowd of onlookers. As I sat up, I reflexively spat out the fluid in my mouth. Blood. Apparently, they really did a number on me. The slightest movement of my arm made my body ache all over. In particular, my left ankle felt like it was on fire and refused to budge. Maybe it was broken. Oh, my poor child. I could hear ambulance sirens in the distance. Someone in the crowd must have called for one. I would have sooner crawled home than accept help from strangers. With that thought, I pressed both hands to the ground and tried to push myself up. I understand, Toa, but at the same time, if your arm, if something feels broken, you can't crawl anywhere, so... But my left leg refused to go up. Exactly. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't get up. With a sigh, I reluctantly gave up. Yeah, I've fallen on my ankle before. And let me tell you, even if you think you can get up, you cannot. I stood up and I was like, I feel fine. And I just like immediately fell again because I could not support myself. So, and for me it wasn't even like pain, I just couldn't support myself, whereas like Toa's just like, oh, it hurts, and I'm like, maybe, like, you're not going anywhere. The ambulance took me to the Takanokuchi medical office. That foreshadowing. I love foreshadowing. Very obvious. I you know, after reading many stories throughout the years, like, I love foreshadowing. Like, you're just like, ooh, they mentioned a hospital that's not the one you work at. We're probably gonna head over there. Right? I love that kind of I love that stuff. It's about even when it's like really obvious, you know. Apparently, it was the closest available medical facility. Well, duh. The Murasai clinic is like buck wild, like one place, like, you know, it's like a tiny little clinic. Was carried into the building on a stretcher. Then a male doctor arrived and treatment began. Following an x-ray, they determined my left ankle was sprained.
骨は折れていないので、腫れが引けば大丈夫ですよ。
You'll be okay. Oh no, I didn't see anything. Oh, it's just like random blinking. Okay, well, maybe I might be wrong. Maybe it's just random blinking that one time. He applied medical tape to hold my ankle in place, then told me to go home and put ice on it if it started to hurt. He offered me a pair of crutches, but I declined since I could still walk without putting weight on my left foot. Then he patched up my other injuries and left the exam room. Next, the nurse asked me for my name and contact info. I said my last name was Murase, then gave her Taku's phone number. Oh, mercy. Okay. I did this anytime I ended up at a hospital. Most people born in Shikomi didn't have a birth certificate, myself included. Since a lot of people went by fake names and or had no other family, hospitals couldn't turn a profit if they turned those patients away. While medical facilities were generally averse to training gangsters and other troublemakers, they were willing to overlook a lot of things. Just then, I remembered the doctor I'd met at Roost the other night. Supposedly, he worked here.
この病院にメガネをかけた40代くらいの男の先生っている。
He's in his 40s? He's pretty fine for I hate that. No. It's just that like I thought he would be like the same age as them. Ow, my toesies. Sorry, I hit my toe. But I thought he was like around the same age, or at least like, yeah, like similar to like Taku and Rei, maybe. But I don't know, you know, whatever. I mean, that's kind of spicy, I guess. You know, we like older guys, I guess. If appropriately. Okay.
そうですね。2人ほど。
She got two. The nurse looked at me dubiously.
ちょっと神経質そうで。背筋を伸ばして。
He is reading this dude to filth.
ああ、それは朝倉先生ですね。非常勤
His
の先
name
生で
is
す。
Dr. Asakura. Oh my goodness. Okay. Works here part time.
人からいい評判を聞いたから。
Reads this dude to filth and goes, oh, you know, I heard that he's kind of Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness.
そうなんですね。
I'm not gonna get through this chapter. Not chapter, this part. I'm not going through this whole second chapter. The first chapter took me like a couple goes. Oh, I see. I wasn't sure this excuse would fly, considering I didn't even know what field this Asakura guy specialized in, but she nodded in understanding.
朝倉先生は毎日来てる。
Does he?
非常勤なので毎日はいらっしゃらないんです。
Oh.
月曜と木曜、土曜の午前中ならいらっしゃいますよ。
Tell me what day it is, nurse. What's the day today? Judging from the way he reacted to me, he probably didn't want anyone knowing about his visits to Roost. If someone from the bar showed up at his workplace, he'd probably flip. As my inner mischief maker began to plot, I slowly slid off the hospital bed. Oh, I'm still in the hospital bed. I thought he was talking to him. I thought he was standing. I know he like sprained his ankle, but he could be like, you know what I'm saying? I thought he was checking out. So, while I was at the billing counter, I asked about Asakura's schedule. They told me he had an appointment available the next day, so I took, oh, let's go, plot. Okay. After I left Takanokuchi, sorry, this is gonna turn into the other one. I checked my phone and found a dozen message notices from Ray filling my screen. I wrote back to let him know I was on my way home, then started walking, dragging my hurt leg behind me. First of all, I want to say, as we go through this, What happened to you? Hold on, like I said before I continue, I know for Ray and Taku, Toa getting buck wild is not that odd because they know his process when he's looking for new models and stuff, and they know what he's sort of doing, right? So it's funny that it's like Ray and Taku always act like super shocked, like whenever something like weird happens, or like Toa shows up, he's beat up, right? His booty was whooped. Sorry, sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like they're just always like, oh, it's like what happened? Oh my gosh, oh my god, and then it's here again. It's like, what happened to you? It's like, Ray, like you just chased after some kid who you were like, oh, didn't look like a child prostitute, and then it's like, oh, my friend disappeared, and there are a lot of things, you know. There's a process of a situation, you know. You left your homeboy back there, and he's just very prone to getting beat up and kidnapped and injured and hurt, like, and you're just like, what happened? I'm like, Ray, you left him there. You left him there. Of course something was bad was gonna happen. That's usually what happens with Toa. It was terrible though. You know, Taku's the same. He's like, you know, where'd you get these cuts? And so, you know, Taku. You know. Anyway, let's continue. I know it's because they care, and Ray and Taku care about Toa, but it's just funny because they're just like, I can't believe this. What happened to you? What happened to you? And I'm like, what do you think happened to him? He's Toa. This cast is very endearing, I can't lie. Despite all the wild stuff that happens. Okay, let's go. Taku and Ray were waiting for me in the lobby. In the lobby. Hold on. Taku and Ray were waiting for me in the lobby. As soon as I walked in, they jumped to their feet. What's weird?
骨折っていうかボロボロじゃない。どうしよう。
Ray pressed both hands to his mouth, blinking back to. Oh, he's so sweet.
本当にごめんね。私のせいで。あの時。
There was another one. There was like a bunch of them, Ray. To be fair, there was a bunch of them. It's alright. It's alright. It's okay. I can't walk. It's fine. I can still walk. That was where it all started, but I didn't hold him responsible for it.
子供は見つけたんだけど、すぐ逃げられちゃって。
Oh, this poor child. He was probably referring to the same kid who bumped into me. Well, they must have thought Ray was with the thugs who were after him.
その後に戻ったんだけど、トアがいなくなってたから、てっきりクリニックに戻ったのかと思って。
Okay, that's reasonable.
何があったの？本当にごめんね。
Reasonable.
本当。
Oh, he's so sweet.
だったか、お前。
Oh. Toa throwing it back. Grinning, I teased him. His guilty expression hardened as he scowled at me. You know what? Toa's kind of spicy this chapter. You know, the previous chapter he was just like, I don't know, whatever. But he's feeling a little spicy after meeting this doctor dude.
キャラとかそういうの関係ないわよ。本当に悪いと思ってるんだから。
At least he's honest. At least Ray's honest.
タバコと酒で。
I'll accept booze and smokes. You will accept rest, Toa. You need to lay down, okay? Toa gets beat up. Can you buy me alcohol and cigarettes? For a moment, he stared back at me in confusion. Then his glare sharpened.
Kenko!
Mood. That's right. You tell him. You tell him, Ray. You tell him, Ray. Taku held out both hands to Ray in a stop gesture. Then he looked at me. Yes. I was having a hard reading comprehension moment there. Yes. Did you get it cleared up? No. He got beat. They punched him and kicked him and whooped him. No.
それで病院へ行った。
None of your own free will, I imagine.
あ
See, they're starting to like give me information that it's like they're used to this, but they just feel bad whenever he gets beat up. So I'm feeling a little better about it. But dang, oh man, he needs to be on watch, you know.
そうか。
Taku's like, Taku furrowed his brow with a hard look on his
ねえ
face.
その足じゃ歩くのも大変でしょ。支えるわ。
Oh, you can help me, all right. That was not a hit. That was. Boy, I must be really tired if I'm laughing at that. Clearly, Ray still felt responsible for my injuries. He started to put my arm around his shoulders.
いいって歩けるから。
疲れちゃうわよ。それどころか部屋にたどり着く前に力尽きるかもしれない
He
し。
is right, even if he takes the elevator. That's pretty. So pretty.
あんたなら十分ありえるわよ。
Oh, we couldn't. That's true. That's true.
二人ともやめろ。とは、今日はもう自分の部屋でゆっ
Yes,
くり
sir.
休め。いいな。
Don't you worry. We're gonna put him to bed, okay? In the end, Ray insisted he would help me walk, and I reluctantly went along with it. Took him into bed, Ray. Both Ray and Taku escorted me into the elevator and up to the third floor. Third floor? I thought that was the second floor. Wow, all this time I thought it was the second floor. Wow. Oh no. When I returned to my apartment, I sat down sideways on the sofa and stretched my left leg out. Ray brought some ice packs and situated them around my ankle.
足以外の怪我は大丈夫なのか。
I don't know. Taku looked at me with sympathy.
特に何も言われなかった。
Yeah, we just got whooped.
そうか。
We got beat.
鷹の口医院で見てもらったから大丈夫だとは思うが、他に何か気になることは
What
ない
are you implying, Taku? This reminded me of Asakura.
ルーストに鷹の口院の医者が来てた。
So, by the way, Taku.
医者？ ル
Ooh.
ーストの客と同じ顔が鷹の口医院にいたってことか？
Taku's like, oh no.
いや、ルーストでやけに浮いてる客がいたから、店長に聞いたら教えてくれた。
Interesting.
スーツ姿でメガネをかけた男が
Interesting.
カウンター席に一人で座ってそわそわしてるんだ。
Yeah.
気にならないわけないだろ。
Yeah, when you look sussy, people do tend to, of course they're not like Toa, who's just like, hey, what you about? Like, you know, it's like you don't even know each other. No, it's like people have a tendency to be curious, you know, because it's just like you don't look like you fit in, right? And you're just like, what are you about? But you usually do it from a distance, unlike Toa, who's just like, hey, yo, you know, what you doing tonight? You know?
なるほど。他の店
Oh,
と間
he
違え
did
て入っ
not.
たとかじゃ
No,
ない
absolutely not, Taku. Don't try it
何度か来て
with
るって言
me.
ってた。
The mattress.
朝倉って名前の男だ。
Sakura. Oh, instantly, Taku's expression shifted.
桜？
Hey, yo. Rivals?
知ってるのか？
You know him?
うん、も
Would say that. Ooh. Oh? Tea? Taku responded vaguely, then pressed a hand to his mouth.
トアがちょっかい出してたあの医者、タクの知り合いなの？
We're just exposing each other. Like
ただ話しかけただけだろ。
he was just talking, Ray. They were just talking.
本当かしら？
Uncomfortably. You sure about that? Ray donned a teasing grin, but Taku's expression was still deadly serious. Ooh.
う。名前はいつ聞いたんだ？
鷹の口医院に行った時に看護師に特徴を話して聞いた。
わざわざそこまでしたのか。
Why would you go through all that trouble? Well, you see.
ルーストに通う挙動不審の医者なんて
True.
今までにない客だからな。
Toa needs another model. Needs another model, Taku.
それはそうかもしれん
We
が。
gotta like keep the payments coming, you know. We need to make rent. Oh, that's right, he doesn't pay rent. We need to buy snacks. so that he stops drinking alcohol and smoking so much. Sorry. Taku seems strangely resistant. Were you dating?
Oh, 大学の時の
Oh, senpai.
そうなんだ。そうは見えなかったわ
So
ね。
much younger than
タク
you.
よりも若そうな感じ。
Interesting.
俺は留年してるんだよ。
Oh. Wait, so how old is Taku? I swear, like, how old is he? He's repeating. Okay, so I guess Taku is old. It's so hard in these games though, because it's like everyone's kind of drawn on the younger side, even when there's like when you age them up a little older. Like, you know, Taku doesn't look that old. He just has like facial hair, like a little like stubbly guys. But I'm like, doesn't mean you're old. It just means you're a man with stubble. And that other guy looked really young, so I thought he was like, you know, anyway, but all right. Taku shot back scowling.
そうなのね。でもあの先生、すっごい真面目そうな感じだったけど。
Please give me the
やっぱり
tea. I want to know the
ルースト
tea,
に通ってる
Taku.
のは意外なの？
まあ、そうだな。
Mm.
でも人は見かけによらないって言うしね。
That's right, Ray. That's right.
確かにそう。
Taku nodded, his expression still dark. Give me this tea! I want to know the
でも
tea.
トアがわざわざ深入りしようとするなんて珍しいわね。
Don't dance around.
あ、もしかして。
Okay, let's go, Ray. He fixed me with a devilish grin.
朝倉先生のこと追いかけたくなっちゃった？ちょっかい出そうと
You're a
して
little onto
すご
something.
い
You're a little
拒
onto
絶されてたもん
something.
ね。
Okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere,
あ
Ray.
んな反応されたのは初めてだからな。
確かに無理して来なくてもいいわけだしね。わざわざ来る理由は気になるわ。
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
だか
That's
ら
what
って
I want to
から
know.
かおうとするなよ。
First of all, he wasn't bullying. We're getting friendly. I shrugged. Taku let out an exasperated
じゃ
sigh.
俺たちは帰るぞ。ちゃんと歩けるようになるまで仕事は休め。
Oh. Okay. Bless up.
テーブルの上に鎮痛剤を置いておくから
Knowing
痛みがひどかったら飲めよ。
you, you won't. Oh, he's trying so
ただでさ
hard.
え絵を描いた後で消耗してるだろうし、しっかり休んでね。何かあったら連絡ちょうだい。
Message me if you need anything. Saying this to the person who doesn't ask for anything, but okay. After the two of them left the room, I reached out to the coffee table. I grabbed a blister pack of sleeping pills, popped two into my mouth, and washed them down with a sip of... I grabbed a blister pack of sleeping pills, popped two into my mouth, and washed them down with a sip from... Sorry, from a liquor bottle off the floor. You're not supposed to take that medication with liquor. You can't, you're not supposed to be drinking alcohol. What am I gonna do with this child? Sorry. If I didn't force myself to rest, my body would cease to function. I had no strong attachment to staying alive, but that didn't mean I was eager to die. As long as I was alive, there was always something halfway decent to enjoy. Thus, I was in no hurry to kick the bucket, and so I closed my eye and waited for sleep to force itself upon me. Slow damage. Party. Terrible. Okay. The next day. I woke up just before noon, dragging my bad leg. I went into the bathroom and got ready to leave. We're gonna meet appointment day. It's appointment day. It's appointment day. I'm never this excited to see the doctor. Taku had warned me not to bully Asakura, but I was dying to see what the guy's reaction would be if a Roost regular show up. And since my ankle was sprained, it wasn't unreasonable that I would want to go back for a checkup. Ooh, spicy. Of course, truth be told, I had full access to a doctor right here at home. Yeah, but it's different. Okay, you know, like, you know, meet new people, vibe, and oh. Took the elevator down to the ground floor, and when I walked out, I found Ray standing there. Apparently, he was waiting for the elevator at that exact moment. He blinked at me in surprise.
嫌だとは今様子を見に行こうと思ってたのよ。どこか行くの？
Where are you going?
ちょ
Hello?
っと
Out.
ちょっと。
鷹の口
I tried to be vague about my destination, but he kept pressing me and I caved. Apparently, he was really hung up on the idea that my injuries were his fault. I got the sense he would probably want to tag along.
付き添うわ。ちょうどもうすぐ昼休みだし、今日はそこまで患者さんも多くないし、タクに声かけてくる。
I don't know. He's quite sweet, but he is definitely quite overbearing. I feel like he's far more overbearing than Taku. At least so far. That could all change, and you know.
ダメ。またいつどこで怪我するか分かったもんじゃないから。
True. See this? Yep. This, I told you, you gotta keep him on watch. You know. His tone was uncharacteristically firm. Oh, that's true. He's usually not like this. Yeah.
すぐ戻るから。
分かった
As Ray's footsteps hastily retreated to the back of the clinic, I let out a sigh. To the hospital! To the hospital! Okay. So Ray borrowed Taku's company car to drive me to Takanokuchi Medical Office. Ray had both a driver's license and a motorcycle license, and he decided taking the car would be best for my ankle. Yeah, you shouldn't really expose ankles like that when they're kind of injured. Yeah. As for me, I wasn't licensed in anything. I didn't need to be. If I ever wanted to go somewhere far, I took the bus or water taxi. Water taxi! The hospital was only a 10-minute drive from Murase Clinic. I could see the tall, impressive building just ahead. We parked the car on the street and entered the premises on foot. Let's get it. Last time I was here, I hadn't seen the big sign out in front that read Takanokuchi Medical Office, Internal Medicine, Surgery, and Pediatrics. Oh, pediatrics. More foreshadowing. More foreshadowing. Ray helped me walk in through the front entrance, and after we were all checked in, he sat me down in the chair in the waiting room. The room was full of other patients waiting their turn. The walls were dotted with stickers of cartoon characters and lined with shelves of picture books and manga. There was even a Christmas tree decorated with angel dolls and plush toys. Unsurprisingly, for a facility with a pediatric ward, there were a lot of families here. Ray and I didn't really fit in.
子供が多いのね。この辺は小児科がないからかしら。
Yeah, I'm just like, foreshadowing. Ray whispered in my ear. Apparently, he was thinking the same thing. As I sat there, feeling extremely out of place, I overheard some of the parents talking.
そうなのよ。他の病院にも行ってみたんだけど、うちの子は朝倉先生がいいって。
Oh no. Oh,
朝倉先生が好きなんでしょ?
No. Oh, that's so sassy. Okay. Hopefully, he's just really good with kids. And he has mad social anxiety. Okay, that's what we're hoping here. That's what we're hoping here. Okay? That's the vibes. Okay. Please, God. Please. My anxiety is spiking. My anxiety is spiking. Okay, please. Oh gosh. Okay. You must really like him, don't you?
好き。さっきもそうよね。朝倉先生がいいんでしょ？朝倉先生がいい。
朝倉先生は診察も丁寧だし、よく話を聞いてくれるものね。
Okay. See, these ladies also look kind of like they ain't got time for men.
子供好きなのよ。子供もそういうのがわかるんでしょうね。親としてはおとなしく診察を受けてくれて助かるわ。
本当にそうよね。
Oh boy.
うちの子歯医者が大嫌いで。
Okay. They all hate that. Most children hate the dentist. It's very uncomfortable. Apparently, Asakura was highly regarded. About an hour later, they finally called my name. Ray offered to come with me to the exam room, but naturally I declined. Then I rose to my feet and slowly walked down the hall, dragging my leg. Oh boy. Nurse helped me into the exam room where I spotted a bespectacled man. Bespectacled. Oh my gosh. Bespectacled man sitting at a desk. Was wearing a freshly starched lab coat and looking at my charts on his monitor. I'm so dry. The room's interior was carefully decorated to appeal to children. If anything, it was a self-serious doctor who didn't seem to belong here. Yet, oh, so cute. This little, oh, sorry. I got too excited. The little seal with the balloon. It's so cute. Okay. As instructed by the nurse, I took my left shoe off, then sat on the exam table. Only then did Asakura finally turn away from the charts to look at me. His aloof eyes met mine. Sure enough, it was the man I met at Roost. I recognized him straight away. But his expression didn't shift at all. Maybe he didn't remember me. I purposely curled my lips in a provocative sneer and gazed deep into Oh my goodness. Oh, so it was like, I'm going in. Last night. Asakura furrowed his brow. Oh. His sharp, calculating eyes widened slightly. He was clearly flustered. A moment later, he cleared his throat and composed himself.
Okay,
try it, homie. Evidently, he was planning to play dumb. No surprise there, since we weren't alone in the room. Okay. How is it? What is this dude's deal? This dude's deal, I'm like getting fearful. You know? I'm like, gore's one thing. But the moment children are involved, I mean, that is true. The moment children are involved, I like get scared. I'm just like, oh no, are they trafficking? Is it human trafficking? Is it drugs? You know, like they said, prostitution. Oh my gosh. So hopefully, hopefully he just likes children and again has social anxiety. That is all. That is what I'm hoping for this route. Even though it's nitro+chiral and I shouldn't expect good things. So he crouched down and touched my ankle. Oh, wait. Girl. You shouldn't be giving him those. We never know. He spoke in a clinical tone, then he straightened up, returned to his computer, and typed something into my chart. I hopped off the table and put my shoe back on, all while scrutinizing his face and profile. His repeated attempts to stay composed had me curious, but maybe he'd come back to Roost sometime. Better not to push too hard in the beginning. And what? As I headed for the door, he called after me. Ayo. I heard him muttering and turned back to find him glaring at me. Aha! So this is the real you. So, okay. He's getting a little too flirty, like, you know, Toa's getting a little too frisky, you know, but you know what? We'll go with it. I smiled back faintly, his eyes lit up in anger. Just then, the door... I wanted to say the doctor, but the door suddenly opened and a young boy ran in. He made a beeline straight for Asakura, his arms outstretched. Asakura looked surprised for a moment, then smiled gently, grasped the boy by the and gently grasped the boy by the shoulders. Whoa, that tone change was real. Mother with child. Sorry, I love these NPC names. A young woman, presumably his mother, rushed into the room and scooped him into her arms. It's alright.
でも転んで怪我をしたら危ないのでしっかり見ていてあげてくださいね。
Yeah, he hitting different. What the heck?
はい、本当にすみません。
I'm really so. The mother bowed apologetically to both of us. Asakura watched them with an amused smile. This was nothing like the barely civil attitude he had shown with me. Right before the woman left the room, however, she stopped and turned
ああ、
back.
先生。明日のチャリティーイベントよろしくお願いしますね。
Charity event. My ears open.
えへ
Toa's ears are open. We got his plan. Oh, he'll be there. Oh, we're going to the charity event. After the mother and son left the room, the smile faded from Asakura's face. His stoic masks returned, and with a glance in my direction, he turned back to his desk.
次の患者さんが待っていますので申し訳ありませんが
That's kind of spicy, I can't lie. He's just like, can't give you time of day. Immediately, no wonder Toa's just like, hey yo, what's your number? What are you about? His dramatic transformation had piqued my interest, but I decided to back down for now. Yeah, give him a little bit, couple steps. You know, give him some breathing room. You know, so then next time you see him, he'll be a little less likely to run away from you. Back in the waiting room, I returned with Ray and sat down beside. Ooh. Back in the waiting room, I reunited with Ray and sat down beside him. Now, to pay my bill. The room was filled with even more families than when I left. Children's voices echoed through the air.
ねえ
Ray began awkwardly.
私たち場違いじゃない、この病院ほとんど小児科って感じよね。
まあそうだな。
Yeah, I guess.
なんだか幼稚園にいるみたい。別に子供が苦手なわけじゃないんだけど。
Yeah, I also feel nervous. You are right, Ray. I too feel nervous. Oops, I accidentally clicked. So when do you have to come back?
1週間後。
そっか。腫れと痛みさえ引けば問題ないんでしょ。そうしたらあとはタクに見てもらう方が早いわよね。
Yeah, but you see, Ray,
ここまでわざわざ来るより。
Then I don't get any interesting story, you know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was right, of course. But I had a different reason to come here, to see Asakura and gauge his reaction. Now that I'd met him, I could tell that he had some deep underlying reason to go to Roost. While he was the level-headed guy, he wasn't the cunning type. The more he tried to hide the truth, the more likely he was to spill it. The tea! Sorry. It was a piñata full of candy, and I wanted to see what was inside. Oh, you spicy out here. 20 minutes later, my name was finally called. Ray went up and handled the payment for me, and then we left the building. Slow damage. All right. So, like I said, it's a shorter episode today. So let's save here. Let us save. Save. Indeed. Very good. Save again. For safety. Very good. Okay. Back. I'm back again. Alright. So. Okay, that was interesting. It's not what I expected. Yeah, that I totally thought chapter 2 was gonna be about Taku. But I guess okay, so I take it because usually you guys are just gonna hear me ramble, and you guys probably played all these games already, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, with nitro+chiral games, they kind of have like a setup, you know, and not just nitro+chiral games. I take that back. Like dating games, like these sorts of kind of games, like even in gacha, like anything that has kind of like a dating element, they have like the prologue, which is like essentially kind of the same, and you're just trying to learn how the game functions. So it's essentially like an interactive tutorial with choices, right? But for the most part, it's like just teaching you how to go through the game, how to play the game. So I figured, I was like, oh, so is the game gonna actually, like, instead of doing like a branched off guys / branched out routes, etc., I thought it was gonna be like some kind of linear, semi-linear story where it's just like each chapter is about a different guy, because Toa doesn't seem to be all that monogamous. Like, he's just, and he's also casual or whatever, doesn't really like care to date or something, unless I haven't gotten that far in the game yet. But I thought that's what was gonna happen, but it actually looks like we're going through more of those art subjects before we get to the actual dating portion of the game. Which is very interesting, because, you know, like I said before, there's always just like one dude who's like the prologue vehicle, and that's usually how it went that way, you know. So I'm very pleased with the break of formula here, you know, unless I'm delusional and I'm just like making it up, you know. But no, this was a very interesting episode. I now have many questions. I have many questions. Maybe they don't all have to be answered, but I do have questions, because I am very interested in this next chapter. Very different from Ikuina, very different. Toa's acting a lot spicier this chapter, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't have to like force him to push out this doctor, because he's the one he's interested. He's like, I want to know, what are you here for, you know? So otherwise, thank you for joining me again on this part of Slow Damage. Like I said, shorter part, but you know, I will probably go in between like the shorter parts and longer parts, which, you know, it's a good mix sometimes to have them too. But yes, thank you again for joining me. I'm very interested in learning about Dr. Asakura and him and Taku's history. You know what I'm saying? Will I ever meet these other two guys? Who knows? But at this point, I'm having a great time anyway. So when I do meet them, I hope it's a fun time. So so as always, thank you guys for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay well. Don't forget, I have a BL podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, called Can Smooch Tho, where we talk about all things boys love and other related items. And, you know, check out season 1. We're gearing up for season 2. And, you know, thank you for joining me. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.